Yo, what's poppin'? It's Jonathan. We have three quick APAC matches for week 3 of day 2 of the Captain Cup qualifiers. This is the last week for APAC qualifiers because they were doing their play-ins next week, and everything's been decided now except for who has the fifth seed between the Charge and the Hunters, which only matters for their specific match in their play-ins with who has the first map pick. So pretty irrelevant. Anyway, before I get into this, like this video if you like and subscribe for more content like this, and let me know your thoughts on these matches down below. So, Charge against the Spark. We thought the Spark looked good against Seoul. It's all gone. They look bad again, and they just got diffed on a roll-by-roll basis against the Charge. Full team diff. Charge 3-0 them. And it's especially concerning because both teams were playing the Sombra Tracer D.Va Zen composition. Basically no substitutions the entire way through in the roster situation or in the comp situation. So Charge playing Jimmy, Choice A1, Piggy, Xerneas, and Farway. Spark playing Shy, Pineapple, Bernard, Irony, and Teru. And let me say, Xerneas had a fantastic game on the Zen. Didn't think that was a thing that he had in his pocket, but he pulls it out. It looks fantastic. Teru doesn't have the same performance as he did. He had some good moments where that was probably when Spark looked their best, when Teru was able to step up and pop off. But Xerneas was doing it on a far more consistent basis, killing Pineapple, killing Shy, diffing Teru. It was spectacular, and that's the focal point of this match for me. But even then, Choice A1 was playing better. Jimmy was playing better even. While Jimmy and Shy was a bit more even, probably the most even, but still like absolutely team difference from Charge here. And Busan ended up going 2-1 their way. Mecha base 156. I felt like Spark was playing a lot more defensively and just letting Shy and Pineapple look for their dives while Bernard was sitting back. Yeah, he'd go in with a nano boost sometimes, and they end up getting 56%, but it wasn't great. The backline of Charge, specifically Xerneas again, was shutting down Pineapple and Shy. And it was just not great. And downtown, especially downtown, you'd see Shy trading his life for hacks, maybe playing a bit more aggressive. He was like, oh, we have to make something happen here. So they go for that. But like, sometimes it was worth it because you get the kill Piggy off of it. Sometimes you get a hack off and you just die. They do end up winning it just barely. But the next map, Sanctuary, which is 100-0 for the Charge. And this is especially where you see the Zenyatta making such a big difference. It's extremely difficult for the D.Va to dive the Zen at this point because of how far away you have to actually be to get the dive. It's like a full booster from point to wherever the Zen is playing. And even then, you're not always on point. They were never on point. So, like, just like, it's impossible almost, unless you flank all the way around Jerome, or you take your time to get there. And it just never worked out for the Spark. Anyway, I could wall 3-2 for the Charge. This one was a bit different because it felt like, what the? So to start off Charge's offense, sorry, the cat like hit my door or something, and now he's in here. So if I am distracted because this cat is stupid, my bad. But anyway, Charge offense. Choice one immediately died, so that didn't help. And then Teru actually trolls a bit. I don't know if he was looking for a super aggressive angle onto the backline or what was going on, but he split super far from the Spark. The Charge just kill him, and Spark are like, okay, well, we'll give up 88% now. They come back, and they are able to clear out, but then Irony gets taken up by Choice A1, Jimmy hits an EMP, and they just kind of win A. So, actually, they don't just kind of win A. It was a bit more harder than that, because the EMP does get a lot of pressure. They don't actually get the kill off of it. What really gets them the kill here, or the cap, was that Pineapple lost his 1v1 to Xerneas, and then they were able to win out like that. Because if Pineapple gets that 1v1, they probably lose, actually. So I shouldn't say it was the EMP, mostly. Anyway, they kind of rolled through B, straight up. Xerneas still finding picks. And Spark is looking like it was a fluke completely yesterday. It was a really poor performance. At this point, I was like, oh, what the hell happened? Did Sarla actually look bad there? Or what was going on? And then, so they roll through B, and then on C, they grind out a very scrappy fight. Basically, no resets the entire time, and they had a good amount of time. There was like 2+ minutes there, at least, probably more. And there's just never a reset. Just fighting the entire time. Charge eventually cap out with 7 seconds left, and it was crazy. Spark never really stabilized, and they never gained control of the situation ever. Even though, well, it looks like they win the fight, but the rest of the Charge are still buzzing around, and they were able to apply some pressure, so they never stepped up and actually had a foothold anywhere. They were defending on sand in a way. Spark on their offense, they are able to get through A really easily because Shy gets set up behind, despite getting oh my god. Alright, I kicked out the cat again. So anyway, Spark offense, Shy sets up behind, even though he gets skedded out whenever he tries to go over the rooftop, he still ends up sitting up behind them. And he gets his hack on the Xerneas, and the Spark just cap A really fast, 520 into B. And they get a lot of push, and they just keep on pushing, basically. Eventually, Charge do get a stabilization, and it's looking kind of bad here because it feels like Spark are just playing completely defensively now. They push it off pretty far and onto the bridge, and now they're just sitting back and waiting for the dive to come out from the charge. And a lot of the time, it just doesn't actually stop it. So like the first time they get all the way to the bridge, they were playing back. They do hack Piggy, he dies, and they get all that push, right? But then now it just doesn't work out as well. They do actually cap by Irony kind of breaking down the fight, kicking far away off the map. Bernard hits a bomb and Piggy actually dies to it, like it's on top of the cart. So if he was in a slightly different position, they probably hold on there. But anyway, Spark get it to overtime, and it's really bad on C because it looks like actually it's going to be good. But here's why it's bad: because you push it all the way, Jimmy switches to the Widow, and they just int onto him. And they just C9. They should have capped out, but they C9 it, and it looks bad. And Jimmy actually said after the match that, you know what, that was kind of his plan. He wanted to go to Widowmaker, see if he could draw them off point or get some picks or something, and it works. So Jimmy's super smart for that. But what an absolutely poor C9 there. You have Tracer, you have Sombra, and you have D.Va, all players that can touch the point. Just like keep one of them there. Just sit Bernard on the point, man. He doesn't need to dive the Widow too. And then Junkertown was a 3-0. Just a 3-0. Charge kind of roll their A, roll A, they roll B. They get stopped on C for a little bit, but Sparks C9 again. It was really bad. And the reason that they were able to roll through, right? Shy got slept and removed right away. Xerneas was getting picks. He continues to get picks on B. They C9 because they get the scrappy fight. They actually win, but then they just C9 because why not? Sure, let's C9 everywhere. It was awful. And it's like the Spark team just looked boomed. Like, it was brutal. On their offense, they pushed the A pretty quickly with some good dives onto the back line, but they can't cap out because Bernard falls. And even though Pineapple kills literally 4, it's Piggy left standing. And Choice 1 killed the rest, so it was like, what are you going to do? You're not going to win that 1v1 against Piggy. It's not possible. And, yeah, so the Charge come back. Spark lose. And I play the match going to be Xerneas, finding picks left and right. I've been gassing this guy up the whole time. Great Zen stuff. Unreal performance. I'm going over to the Valiant against the Dragons. Is a 3-0 for Shanghai. Just a roll. And I expected Valiant to make this close, but maybe they just don't care anymore because they don't have anything to play for. They don't look like they're too much of a for-fun team at this point. I don't know. It's whatever. They're playing Izzy Han, Becky, Marvel, Lynx, and Molly. Shanghai playing Lip, Fleta, Void, Bebe, and Izzyaki. So Bebe making a return. He did play a bit last week anyway, but it's like, I don't know. But we do see Who Are You later, which is fantastic. But anyway, Busan's a 2-0 for Shanghai. And both teams playing Sombra, Tracer, Lucio, or Sombra, Tracer, Ana, with Valiant playing the Winston, Lucio, and Shanghai playing the D.Va Zen. And it feels like the D.Va Zen definitely getting the edge here. Marvel not being too effective on the Winston. He goes over to the Doomfist eventually too. Doesn't look great there. But the biggest thing for me is that Lip on the Sombra was so much better than Easy Han. He was making great plays, huge hacks, huge EMPs, really smart ideas where, you know, you would put your translocator somewhere where Marvel's going to leave whenever he gets pressured. So he's able to follow him with the translocator and finish him off. And you could say maybe that was a fluke, maybe that was just convenient. But like realistically, I wouldn't doubt that Lip did that. He's that good at the Sombra character. He probably decided to do that. And it is fantastic. Fleta also had a pretty good look. He was able to find good kills on the backline on the Tracer. So you know what? If Fleta maybe I'll look at his stats after this. Hopefully he hasn't, you know, hopefully the stats showed that he's maybe had a pretty good game. Or if this is just like, you know, same old Fleta. But I feel like he's improved from watching this. And then Mecha Base was just a complete roll. He goes over to the Winston, he dies. He goes to the Doomfist, he just gets hacked. It doesn't work. The dives never pull out on Mecha Base. And that's just that. So then we go to King's Row, which is a 2-0 for Shanghai. Sorry, this cat is literally just meowing. I don't know, man. He needs help. He needs help. Nah, this guy cannot go 10 minutes alone. He is freaking out. But anyway, King's Row, 2-0 for Shanghai. And they're on the Sojourn Echo Zarya Brig Ana. Or no, that's what Valiant's on. Shanghai's on the Genji, because Who Are You is in. So Who Are You comes in, Saucin comes in for Valiant, and Li Zhegang comes in for Bebe. And Valiant, on their offense, they do really good work on the Echo, because they corral on A. Shanghai's like in the hotel area. Valiant take the point presence, and Becky's able to apply a lot of pressure, and they cap A pretty quickly. But he does nothing on B. Legit nothing, and he never switches. Because you have no angles to get through the archway. It's just not there. And once you get further on the B, you don't have great angles there either, above that, on the rooftops. And Shanghai are just dominating. They look confident. They look great. Great picks, great staggers, great ult usage. It looks like Shanghai's on fire. You go over to the offense, and Becky goes to the Tracer now. And they just kind of roll through A. They get a big stagger on the Becky, and Shanghai just continue going. It's just, they're just drippy. They're swagged out right now. They even just run past Sawson. Sawson is nothing to them. They do not care. And they just dominate. Okay, going to Dorado, another 2-0 for Shanghai. Fleta comes back in, Bebe comes back in, and I'm Valiant on the offense. I actually don't know what happened on A because the cat cut me. I don't know if you can see it on my, it's like on my pinky. It was bleeding, so I was like, okay, I guess I'll put a band-aid on it or whatever. So I didn't see A, but it looked pretty good from the numbers on the screen. But they did nothing on B because the dive was really bad. Sawson wasn't able to dive the high ground on Zarya. He didn't make an attempt to even take it over on the coastal side. And Valiant were very much unable to capitalize on either of the two EMPs they had. You only have Becky to follow up, and one of the times he copied a Sombra, so you have a double Sombra dive, which doesn't sound very good. And the Echo itself, if he hits the stickies, it can be good, but you need to actually get some more damage on that. You want a D.Va or something. I just wish that Sawson would even attempt to play D.Va, man. It just stop. Why would you play Zarya only on Dorado? You're just going to lose on B every time. It's never worked. It's never worked this entire season, and they continue to do it. I don't get it. And Valiant get held at the end of B. Shanghai's on their offense. They roll through A. Fleta's getting good kills on the backline. Again, I'm impressed with Fleta's gameplay here on the Tracer. Sorry, the cat's walking on the table. I'm going to pick you up. There. Look at him. He's biting me. Stop. Leave. Get down. So anyway, they roll through A. They're Valiant do a little bit on B. They actually get some good dives from the high ground, but Shanghai's able to just point push freely because it's not like Sawson can drop down and stop them, and they're playing Sombra Echo, so it's not like the Sombra can really contest the point either. So they have no real point presence unless Sawson drops, and they just keep pushing the point. They get an EMP as they get closer to the bridge. Shanghai just win. It's that easy for them. And my play match is going to be Sombra. I think that the Lip Sombra diff was so huge here. Like, Easyhan had nothing good. And it's not his fault completely because, you're not following up on his EMPs well. The stuff like that. The hacks don't get as much follow-up. But Lip was so smart, man. So talented. And it's got to be Lip for me all day. And then going over to the final match, Philadelphia Fusion against the Chengdu Hunters. It's a 3-1 for Philly. They come out to play. And this match is really weird because you get a roll, you get a roll, you get a roll, and you get kind of a roll. Not really a roll in the final map, but I think it can classify as a good showing at least. So Philly playing MN3 Zest, Fury, Aimgod, and Fixa. Chengdu playing Jinmu, Leave, Daisy, Monk, and Nisha. Ilios being a 2-1 for Philly. Both teams playing Sombra, Tracer, D.Va, Zenana. This is the meta comp in APAC now. It just is. And on 100-0 Philly, Chengdu just didn't even get a kill. I don't even know what to say here. They just complete and utter domination from Philly. Wasn't even close. And on Lighthouse, it's 100-53, a bit better. Daisy definitely struggling on the D.Va here. More of a Zarya Sigma player, I think. MN3 was targeting him heavily with the hacks, and he was being much less aggressive than Fury because of it, but also, I feel like Fury was handling the hacks better anyway. So there was one time, Daisy is able to live through the hack and they kill Fixa and then they flip the point. But from there, Aimgod gets a kill on Monk. Daisy gets taken out of the mech. Philly flip point and Chengdu don't continue the fight. They could have been put more bodies onto the point, continue that overtime. They don't do it. They just lose. I'm not going to call it a C9 because they'd probably still lose anyway, but you could have continued. You had a chance. There was a shot. And anyway, talking about Aimgod again, Aimgod had a really good match. I was a big fan of Aimgod this match. That's a spoiler for the player of the match, I guess, basically. But I thought he had a really good time, and I want to give him credit because I normally am pretty critical of Aimgod Fixa, and I'm like, these guys aren't good. He has a good match. So anyway, Paraiso, 1-0 Chengdu. Gaga comes back in, and Philly on their offense. Gaga dies early. It looks really good. I think Fury stuffed his jump to leave, so I think that's what happened, but I couldn't be sure. It could just be a misplay. Anyway, Philly push onto the point, take 50%, but then Chengdu come back, and then they push them out, and from there, Philly get nothing. They had just nothing going on there. No EMP Nano Blade's not working. Nano onto Fury's not working. Leave just keeps finding huge picks on the Sojourn because they're playing Sojourn now, right, with the Winston. No more D.Va composition here, and it's just Philly can't can't figure out what to do about him. I don't know. The big combos that they were counting on never come through. And then Chengdu on their offense, you put Jimmy on the Sombra, you put Leaf on the Tracer, and Philly holding on the forward bridge. They're pretty quick to give up space if Philly try to take it though, or if Chengdu try to take it rather. But then Imgod gets a little too ambitious. So as much as I was just praising him, he does kind of lose this point here because he gets taken out by Gaga and Chengdu just roll through, and they end up winning. So then we go to Route 66, is a 1-0 for Philly. Again, really quick one. Daisy comes in for Gaga. You get Philly playing back to the D.Va composition. Chengdu have Daisy in. They're playing the Genji, Sojourn, Zarya, Zen, Ana. Chengdu on their offense, not a lot, because they end up getting a pick on Philly. And then they're pushing forward. Jimmu hits a blade. He kills Fixa, but then Philly just nano dives in on the backline. They keep holding. And from there, Leave is getting some good picks. And Dicey's pressuring the front line, so it looks pretty good. But the Philly backline just has no pressure on them, really. They're able to live out really well. Philly's dive able to find great wins, normally with a nano boost on the Fury or an EMP or something in that nature. And Philly just kind of hold on. It just didn't. Chengdu never got those kills that they needed with the Nano Blade, with anything like that. And they're playing the Sojourn, so even though Leaf was getting good opening picks, no real follow-up afterwards. The Philly on their offense, Leaf is doing good stuff on wood, but Philly pressure him out. They send Nano Fury in, and they just kind of win. And just that, it wasn't like a one-fight thing. It did take a few fights because you have to build the Nano boost, but like, nothing going on there. And then New Queen Street, 124 to 86 for Philly. Chengdu did have the lead for a bit there because they're playing the Zarya comp, the Genji, Sojourn, Zarya on Lucio into the D.Va comp. So they kind of win that front line bit, but then Philly just win a fight. They kind of just take it, boom, and they roll with it. Mostly because you get EMP fight win, and then Daisy actually gets slept, and Fury says, okay, I'm going to drop a D.Va bomb on his head, so he can't live that. He got nano boosted to try and live through it. He just dies to it. Like, I don't know. Like, the nano boost just couldn't keep him up. I guess he already took enough damage or something. And then Jimmu blades. He has no nano boost, but he blades in a totally lost fight. They're already down 2 or 3. And then he stays on the Genji, so just completely whiffs the blade. And eventually, that's all the push you needed. They do get more push later, but that's all the push they needed. Chengdu come back with their ults. Philly back up, playing the neutral fight. You get a win there. Goes back and forth a bit, but in the end, Philly have such a lead. Once it hits overtime, they're able to use their ultimate, just build them up, win with an EMP. And it's all good. So just a great look from Philly here. Not a great look from Chengdu. My player of the match is going to be Aimgod. I think he had a really good time. Even on this new Queen Streak, there were times where he'd get nano boost to live, right? And he would just continue to kill like 2 more people. Normally, just living would get value from the nano boost, but when you have Aimgod coming in, he's killing like 2 other guys with it. It's insane. He was shutting down Jimmu so much. Jimmu couldn't get anything done on the Genji. Jimmu had a really non-impactful performance here. Unimpactful even. And I'm going to credit that a lot to Aimgod. So he did a great time. Big value. It's just been the Zenyatta. Did I give Zen the other one? No, it was Lift, but I gave Xerneas on the Zen too. The Zen seems very important whenever you're playing this D.Va comp. For that extra, the extra little oomph that gives your team, the extra pick potential. He's the only real pick potential you have outside of, your team just Sombra getting a random pick in the back line or a Tracer Pulse Bomb or something like that. So the Zenyatta is really important in this composition. So anyway, that's going to be it for me. Like this video if you like it, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and have yourself a good one. Deuces.